y'all for joining me. All right, so I am going to start from the top because y'all know I am my own producer. So I'm going to pause this music real quick. All right, because I need to wait till I play my intro. And if y'all want to check me out live on YouTube, feel free. This is my intro music, and then I'm going to go into telling the story because I'm going to record it as I take y'all through the story, okay? Thank y'all for joining me. And here we go. Wait a minute, you guys. I need my microphone. Hold on, hold on, hold on. I forgot. Because I don't like the way my laptop picks up. So I bought a little pair of microphones to use. And I need to go ahead and use them. So give me one more second, y'all. No. What did I do with it? Did I leave it in the car? Well, that's it on that mic. So let me go ahead and plug this one in. Okay. And I need to go ahead and do my audio. All right, let me hold on. I gotta put my. See, this is the part that I be messing up on. Because I can't find my stuff from what I downloaded. And it shouldn't be that. Alright, that's neither here nor there. I still got it up here anyway, so it doesn't matter. So let me go ahead and hit that right there. That's going to be my screen share, y'all. Okay. Hold on. I need to position this just right, y'all. Nope, I don't like the way that looked. Nope. All right, hold on. Let me get this right. Give me one more second, y'all, and I'm gonna go ahead and get this screen right, because this is what I need to get right here. All right, so when I do this, I need to get that right there. All right, I need to go ahead and get that right there. And when I do that, I need to do that, do that. Oh my God. Do that. That is not, what is the problem? Why does it keep doing that?
That is not, what is the...
All right, you guys. Let's go ahead and get it. Wait, hold up, TikTok. Wait, baby, wait. Ah! I hate when that happens. See, I don't know why I keep doing that, man. So I'm just gonna have to go without it because that is starting to be a pain in the butt, man. Come on, man. Okay. Okay. What you mean? Another what is using my camera? Oh my gosh. Record and create. Camera. Oh my lord. That app ain't even open, but okay. It's closed now. What? Close the other application. Come on now. It's typically not this complicated. Why is it being this complicated now? I don't know. But we're going to go ahead and get into this story, y'all. I don't understand why I keep doing that. Because I'm not using another application. What does it mean? Why does it keep saying that? All right, if it just don't record this time, then I'm just going to go ahead and go with the story, y'all. And I'll just have to redo it and record it later because this is ridiculous. my gosh. Crime. No, it's not made for kids. It's not gaming. This is entertainment, not made for kids. Now I need a thumbnail. That's what I'm talking about, man. Now you looking for thumbnails and stuff. Like, come on with the jokes. I don't believe it's making me do all this right now. Here we go. Wait a second. Where you go? Right there. Yes, please wait. Oh. What's going on? Sorry, y'all. I don't understand what's going on. It was working fine. This is crazy. Like, for real, this is crazy. Hey you guys, Wit T here. Thank you so much for joining me on my channel. If I could, can I get you to please like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification button so that way next time I do a video, you'll be notified. Alright you guys, so I got a story for you today. It's coming from DeKalb County, Georgia. It's the story about Queensha Johnson. She's a 30-year-old mother who was charged with manslaughter of the baby of her kid's father. All right. I don't know if you guys been seeing it on TikTok or social media, but I'm about to get into it. All right. So stay tuned, and we're gonna talk about Queensha Johnson. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me, y'all. Toya with the T here. And I want to take this time to shine the light on a story about domestic violence. All right. Um, I think oftentimes when we think domestic violence, we think about the male, right? But domestic violence, I mean about the female. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say the male. We don't oftentimes correlate domestic violence with the male for the most part. We always think, the woman is getting abused, or the woman is the one to get hurt, or the woman to get shot, or the woman is the one to get unalived. But I think recently here in the last 20 years, we've been noticing a lot of different um, scenarios to where we are having an uptick, and I guess we would call these crimes of passion. But not in all instances are they crimes of passion. I think that in some instances, these crimes are just crimes because some of us just have a lack of self-control. And I think that some of us feel like we're have the ability to actually unalive a person. And I think, when it comes to the law, there should be no extent to where it should be okay when you unalive a person. But we all have different scenarios. And I want y'all to zoom in on this one scenario of Queensha Johnson. Now, the title, if you go look this up online, it's going to be Queensha Johnson, Self-Defense or Murder. All right? So y'all take a dive in with me. Let's go ahead and listen to the story, and you let me know what you think. Do you think that this was a self-defense case, or was this a murder trial when we talk about the case of Queensha Johnson? Okay, so Queensha Johnson is actually a 30-year-old mother who lived in DeKalb County, Georgia. Okay, Queensha and her baby father got into an altercation in 2022. Okay, and in this altercation, Queensha wound up going out, and according to the story, she stayed out all night. And of course, when she got home the next day, there was an issue. Now, there are video, and because my video was not working, I am going to do a visual recording of this case, and I'm going to add in some video for you, okay? And the video right now, if you go on TikTok or if you go on any social media, you can even go on YouTube. There are other content creators that cover this case, and they have footage on what happened from the police camera's view. All right. So now, Queensha was a 30-year-old mother living in Georgia, and she was convicted of manslaughter. They gave her 5 years in prison. She's also going to serve 5 years of home detention, and then she also has 10 years of probation once she gets done with that, okay? She was actually convicted for the slaying of her baby father, 29-year-old DeMonte Smith, all right? Now, when you look at the story on social media, basically, if you look at the dash cam, you're going to get the point to where Queensha had called the officers to her home because she could not get in. And when she couldn't get in, inside of her home was the baby father. And when you look at the video, you're going to hear Queensha stating that he doesn't live there. He just got some bags. I'm assuming that this young man just got out of jail because she mentioned, he just got some bags from when he was at the DeKalb County jail. That's all he has here. He doesn't live here. Things of that nature. Now, when the police get there, of course, they finally get the young man to open up the door. He has a baby in his arms. That is, of course, his and Queensha's. And of course, in the story, they talk about how she had not just too long before that had this baby. And she hadn't been out in a while. All right. So he opens up the door and you hear him say, so, you've been out all night disappearing, things of that nature. All right. Very possessive nature. And again, keep in mind, the police are here and he's mad about her being out all night, did not choose to digress. All right. So when the police and authorities arrived to Queensha's house after she called them, she informed the officers that she had a firearm. Okay. The officer instructed her to put her firearm up. All right. Now the officers are there. There's a man. There's a woman officer there. You can hear the lady officer trying to calm Queensha down, or the guy down, and you hear the male officer ask if he has access to the garage, things of that nature. Well, at any rate, he opens up the door, and you're gonna hear him and Queensha going back and forth about the baby being out in the cold. He doesn't want her to, she doesn't want him to want the baby to catch colic, and they should take him in the house. And again, they're kind of just going back and forth about the baby, about her being out all night, things of that nature. And now at one point, while the police officers are at Queensha's home, the officer's body cam catches Queensha make the comment that she's going to do something to her baby father with her firearm. Now keep in mind, the officer has already instructed her to put her firearm in her vehicle, all right? Secure it. So it's secure. She's talking to the officer. The baby daddy's still in the house. They're having this whole confrontation, right? Then you're going to see the officer try to calm her down. She doesn't want to calm down. The female officer, you can hear her tell her, Queensha, you're just agitating it. And then, the officer, of course, because it's body cam, they don't show the whole thing. But we're just going to assume that they think it dies down. Then you hear the officers walk away, right? And now Queensha and the baby father are in the house, right? Queensha and DeMonte are in the house. And the doors open, and it sounds like a gunshot. And then you hear the officer say, was that a gunshot? At that point in time, you now see the young man, DeMonte, come outside, holding his stomach with a gunshot wound, and says, she shot me. And the officer now repeats, she shot you? He says yes. He proceeds to fall on the floor. At this point, in the background, you can hear the babies screaming. So the babies were in the house when this happened, okay? We're talking about the story of Queensha Johnson, you guys, okay? The babies were in the house. They seen this happen. They heard it happen. The babies are screaming in the background. DeMonte falls to the floor. The officer now walks to the house. And now, as you know, she's arrested. Now, keep in mind, let me go back in the story. As Queensha makes the statement to officers on what she is going to do to the baby father, the officers remind her to make sure you know your law and you know what you're talking about, because that is going to be what goes on. Hey, ladies. Hello, and gentlemen. How are you guys?
We're fine. How are you?
I am well. I was just sitting up here doing a show on the Queensha Johnson case. Have you guys heard about that?
No, we haven't.
All right. Boom. Well, Queensha Johnson is a young lady in Georgia, y'all. And she actually went to jail just recently, last year, for manslaughter of her child's father. Okay. And the interesting turn about this story was when police officers arrived to her house and she had a firearm, she told them, hey, I'm going to wind up pew-pewing him, right? So the officers say, hey, make sure you know your law. And she's like, well, I know my law. I checked on it. I did all that, And, of course, before the officers could get in their vehicle, she had pew-pewed her baby's father, who was 29. And he fell to the floor, and on that day, it wound up fatal. He passed away, all right? Queensha was charged for 5 years with 5 years manslaughter. She also got 5 years of probation, and 10 years probation and 5 years of house arrest. So my thing to the case was, when we talk about domestic violence, we always kind of focus on a female, but in 2024, men are getting taken out just as quick. Come on, baby.
Thank you so much.
So men, we gotta be careful, y'all. Y'all gotta be careful, ladies. We gotta be careful.
Thank you so much, Rika the baddest. Period.
We need to make sure we on our P's and Q's out here in these streets, because those that love us the most are the ones that are taking us out, y'all. So we gotta be careful, y'all. Queensha Johnson, 30 years old, just sentenced to 5 years of manslaughter. Thank you guys so much. She getting it over there in the blue. Thank y'all so much for joining me, Toy with the T, on the line. Talking about the Queensha Johnson case, you guys. Domestic violence.
Do you do like spread different cases on your page platform?
Well, typically, for one point in time, I was doing a lot with like officers unaliving innocent men. But yeah, I do different stories. You know, whatever's trending, especially since I'm trying to grow my YouTube. So if it's a trending story, yeah, I'm basically spreading the word. And a lot of people don't watch TikTok. So when I go tell, some of my older people, they're like, no, I never heard of that story. So yeah, I'm getting into doing the crime and, spilling tea on what's going on in the streets.
Yeah, domestic violence is definitely, not a joke and nothing to play with. I personally know someone, 5 people who lost their lives at one time.
Oh my gosh.
Domestic violence here. One of my cousin's boyfriend, he went off to college. His family, his mom was basically conversating with her. Thank you. And he got upset. The boyfriend that she was dating at the time got upset because she was talking to her baby father in prison, thinking that he wanted them, and he just walked in the house and just killed everybody.
Oh wow. And what state was that?
South Carolina.
Wow. What year was this?
I was younger. But wow. He's a domestic advocate, domestic violence advocate now.
Really?
He's like the only, survivor because he was in college.
Yeah.
But his family, they're pretty much gone. But he's on the news and everything. And look him up. His name is Christian Rainey.
Christian Rainey?
Mm-hmm.
I will definitely look that up. That reminds me of the
South Carolina.
South Carolina. What part of South Carolina?
Charleston,
absolutely. I got a friend that lives in Charleston. That's like this recent case of the young man who unalived his entire family. Well, I think he let the little brother live because he couldn't spend the night at his girlfriend's house. 17 years old, 16, 17 years old. And he wanted to stay the night, and he said no, so he went and got a firearm and pew-pewed his dad, pew-pewed his mom, and he went to go pew-pew his 12 or 14-year-old little brother, and he begged him not to do it and told him he'd give him $40 if he let him live. So, domestic violence at this time is at an all-time high. All-time high. So, y'all got to be careful.
I couldn't believe he off them, he just went, and then he sat there. He fumed him and then sat there on the porch and just waited for the people to come get him.
Wow, really?
Just sat on the porch. MVP Pretty Mocha, thank you so much.
Wow.
Number 2.
I can't believe it.
At this. Country Boy Q, thank you so much.
Yeah, no, it's definitely getting dangerous out here.
MVP Pretty Mocha, MVP Rika.
Okay, girl, yes, ma'am.
Carried away, Anti-Era.
Huh? They doing a match. Different people supposed to tap on the screen. Like she got 109, 106, 3, and 3.
All right, y'all.
Hey, good job, baby. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm gonna give you a follow.
Yes, ma'am. Y'all have a good night. Thank you. Y'all have a good night. Y'all be safe, please.
All right, you too. Spreading awareness too.
Thank you. My pleasure, y'all.
All right. Fine. The door.
Huh? No, I'm trying to get out of here. follow them back. I can't get papers somewhere.
Oh, this is the drug guy?
I'm sorry, my love. What you say?
Where them run gone?
I can hear you. What you say?
No, man, I said, where them run gone?
Everybody left. You wasn't saying nothing. What you say? You need what? Oh, yeah. I got off to the floor. They said they got better things to do. They don't want to sit here and play with me and you. Must be in the car. I don't think so. You could try it. You can open it and see. Might be one, but I don't think so. It's a brown bag in the car. I think they're in there. Thank you for joining my match, my love.
You're welcome.
All right, y'all. Back to the show. And that's why we don't click on, but I've been needing to do that anyway. Well, at any rate, guys, back to Queensha Johnson. So, now, when it comes to Queensha, keep in mind that they did not get her with malice murder. They got her with manslaughter. All right. And the majority of her sentence really came from 2 counts of 3rd-degree cruelty to children, because you got to keep in mind her children were in the house at the time. She also had 1 count of possessing a firearm in the commission of a felony. All right. She's acquitted on murder. She got manslaughter. And the additional goal was to give her 25 years to life. Now, a part of this story was earlier in that year. She said that she had an incident already with Mr. DeMonte that she never called the police for. Okay? Now, we all know how this goes, right? We all know how it goes to be in a relationship, as especially us females. Guys probably can identify. Most of us females, we know how that go. We know how it go if you stay out all night. We know how it go if we've been in a relationship with a guy who's abusive. I mean, we know how that go, right? And with that being said, she didn't call the police. There was nothing like written on paper for her to really sustain, but had happened, right? Which a lot of us do this. That's why it's important. Listen, if they're putting their hands on you, if you're not going to call the police to protect you, it's best to just walk away, because it could have been possible, right, that if Queensha had made that phone call earlier in the year when that incident happened, she could have been walking home right now. Because there's documented evidence that he was abusive. And whether he just came over to watch the kids or you were already dealing with each other, at the end of the day, if you were to come home the next day from staying home or not, we can empathize with it from a baby father or even a husband's point of view. But it's never a right to put your hands on anyone. And in the event you should feel froggy, you want to put your hands on someone whom you know has a pew-pew, then you're probably going to get pew-pewed. I mean, I'm just saying, I'm not trying to make light of this at all. But what I am saying is that oftentimes people, I'm not going to just say men, people can have the tendency to be intimidating or want to intimidate you and want to put fear into you and want to scare you. But at the end of the day, a person who is scared of you will hurt you. My father always told me you never want anyone to be scared of you. A scared man will creep up on you. A scared man will pew you, and the only thing you was going to do was to give them a high five. So my heart goes out to the family of Mr. DeMonte Smith. My heart goes out to the young lady who has now been sentenced to 5 years in prison, away from her kids. 5 years of probation, which is, You would think the 5 years is enough. I mean, not 5 years probation, 5 years of house arrest, and then 10 years of probation. And that was leniency. That was leniency, you guys. So, I mean, I'm just saying, listen, I'm going to need y'all to be safe out here. Gentlemen, ladies, there's countless stories where people are being unalived because we're dealing with other selfish people. We're being unalive because we're dealing with people who we know and we've probably seen at some point that are unhealthy. There are too many cases to where domestically, between mothers, fathers, children, parents, relationships, you name it, people are being unalived because we simply cannot deal with what? The no. We can't deal with not being able to control someone. I mean, I'm really trying to get down to the bottom on, the person whom you once loved, the person whom you once had kids with, the person whom you were once intimate with. And now when they make a certain action, we want to unalive them. That's really hard for me to understand, even though I get it. But it's really hard for me to understand how that switch flips, especially when we know we have so much on the line. So as I come to you today with this message of domestic violence, I want to zone in on the domestic violence that happens to men as well. This is not just something that women go through. Domestic violence is not just a woman thing. Violence in these situations is not just a woman thing. We have men who are losing their lives at the hands of women. And this is something that we need to really zone in on and figure out why, and figure out how we could come up with better solutions. I think one of the most important ways we're ever going to learn how to move forward as a people is love each other enough that despite what we go through, I don't want to unalive you. We got to, at one point, take some kind of accountability and self-control over our own emotions and understand that I love life enough to where if we disagree, if you cheat on me, even if you use me, that I need to be man or woman enough to walk away, not to want to have the next motion to want to unalive you on something that's materialistic or trivial. I don't want to love to the point to where I can't live without you and now I just want to not be here anymore. I don't want to love to the point to where, because we can't be together, I got to take your kids and off we go on a rampage into a river or off the side of a cliff because I can't fathom the thought of being without a person. That's not love, that's obsession. And we got to learn how to differentiate the two. Real love means I will walk away from you and will not fool with you anymore because I love myself to be free for the rest of my life before I will ever throw it away doing time behind bars by someone who really didn't want me. So I'm just saying, y'all, as we continue to take this journey through our lives, for some of us, these are new beginnings. We're going to have to be careful because, in these new beginnings, if you think that you can walk away scot-free without people not potentially wanting to unalive you because of your new beginnings, you got another thing coming. You better stay prayed up, stay humble, and keep your eyes on a swivel. Because we've just had several stories this weekend where we know death doesn't have a time or a place, but we all have a choice on what part we're going to play in death. Are we going to have a hand in it by unaliving people because we lack self-control and don't know how to control our emotions? Or we know it's inevitable. Why not just let death